Well, you know that the problem is that there's hardly any summer jobs, and this program was for the kids to do their own thing. And what happened, well, I see the problem because actually the kids really didn't have the say, and this is what probably had caused some of the trouble here.
Well, if you weren't working in Learning to Learn, which is pretty much a community thing, what kind of job, what kind of place is there where you could work around here?
Factory. I'd probably be in a factory. Before I came on to Learn, I was working in an electronics place. And that's just about the only place where we could find a job is in a factory.
Do most of the girls coming out of high school say go into factory jobs, or the other types of things that they can do?
Yeah, mostly factory, because there's nothing for them to do. There's hardly any jobs the teenagers like to get.
Well, there's the other?
No, not really. They look, but then after they try and nothing ever happens,
So what are you doing now?
I'm a learner. I'm going to the Learn to Learn program.
How about you?
Nothing.
Have you thought about looking for a job?
Many times, but there's just not anybody hiring. And especially with me being so young and not having a high school diploma, it's really harder.
Well, nobody's hiring, or a lot of people aren't hiring now, they say, because of vacations and summertime. But what about the fall? Do you think that's going to change at all?
No, it doesn't change anything. Because I've been out of school for about a year now, and I still haven't really gotten a job.
What about other people who stayed in school with you? Have they been able to get things that they've gotten out?
No, they haven't been able to get jobs either, really. They've been having just as hard time as we are.
Yeah. Excuse me. Why don't you just step over this way a little so I can include you in? Yeah. Now, are you working now?
No, I'm not. No, I'm unemployed.
But you have a family?
Yes.
Right. What kind of problems do you think the whole unemployment situation presents to you as a mother?
Well, being the fact that I'm a mother and I have two children, this presents a problem. A lot of people don't want to hire you if you've got to take care of kids. You're the only one taking care of kids. They don't want to hire you. And they shouldn't be. Look, what are you supposed to do? You got two kids. You got to take care of them. Then they don't want you on welfare. So what are you supposed to do?
Why don't they want you on welfare?
Well, you take a taxpayer's money. You're not supposed to be on welfare. You're lazy. You're shiftless. We don't do nothing. Yet when we're out there looking for jobs, they don't want to give them to us. There's jobs out there to be had, but they don't want to give them to the black girls. And a lot of us are qualified to take some of them. They don't want to hear it.
Well, has anything been done to try, put pressure on people to open up the job thing?
Oh, yeah, they put pressure on for about a month, and then when about 5 girls get jobs, they take the pressure off, and they say, look, we got black girls, big deal, 5, and about 5 black girls in a job, and it's not helping those that ain't got no jobs.
You were talking about welfare, and you're going to talk about your experience.
Yeah, I wanted to go to work, and I went up there and I told them I want to go to work. I can't stand living off of welfare, being in poverty all the time. The money I get is just enough to pay my rent, buy my food, and the little things I need, and that wasn't much. So they said, you little girl's too young. I said, look, other people go to work, the kids are babies, So my kids, she says, no, you can't go to work. I said, what do you mean I can't go to work? As much as you're yelling about people on welfare don't want to go to work, don't want to do this, they're lazy, they're shiftless, and I'm coming to tell you I want to go to work, and you tell me I can't? She says, okay, go ahead and try it. So I went to work in the bank. So when I went back, I told my supervisor that I was working in the bank. He says, you're working in the bank? I says, yeah. He gonna call the bank and make sure I'm working. I said, now what kind of fool would I be to come up here and tell you I'm getting this money every week and I ain't getting it and you're going to cut my check? Does that make any sense? So at the bank, I'm going to go to college. They tell me they're not going to pay my babysitter.
Thanks, Nat.
No, the welfare is not going to pay my babysitter for me to go to school because I was having a problem with babysitter. They're not going to pay my babysitter for me to go to school. How do they expect you to get ahead if they're not going to help you? They're screaming you don't want to do nothing, you want to stay home, you want to be shiftless, yet they don't want you to get out there and do nothing. This excuse, my kid's too young, they want you to wait till the kid's 3 years old. Then they can scream, look at her, she's sitting home, she ain't doing nothing. It's a whole lot of crap, man. They're keeping these mothers in. They don't encourage them to go to work. They got the WIN program. If you know about it and you're hip to it, you go out there and tell them, I want to go on it, right on. If you're not too hip to it about it, and they just explain it to you, and you say, well, because a lot of the mothers have never worked, they don't encourage them. They just tell them and say, well, they weren't enthused or they don't want to be bothered.
What's the WIN program?
Work incentive program.
And how does that work?
Well, they're going to either place you on the job working in a government building or something, local, state, or federal. And it's on-the-job training. Like, you really have to have experience so to get in one of these. If not, you'll go for training. Well, I've been for training through all these programs. And, like, they're not able to do anything right now as far as I'm concerned. And like they told me, you know, recently the lady, my social worker, asked me what I was going to do when I finished school. And I told the lady, I don't know. I'll probably be doing nothing. I'm not going to go down there. I've worked in the bank. They put me in the bank. I worked for a couple of weeks. I worked for 3 weeks. I worked 1 week and gave 2 weeks notice.
Why did you do that?
Why did I do that? Because, like, I wore a wig when I first went down there, right? That was fine because the lady, the personnel manager, she's telling me, gee, you look nice and everything. And, you know, I really look nice. But then I knew it wasn't me, and I just I couldn't go to work every day like that. So I took off my wig, and I wore my dresses, and they were a little short. And they come telling me, and I told them, and they didn't, you know, they didn't appreciate it. So rather than go through that, I said, I just quit, and I went to school. And well, I went to hairdressing school. I have my license. I worked a couple of years, and you know, it's only part time. You couldn't in a colored shop. You can't work because it's only the. You know, it's the upper class who's going to these shops and having their hair done, and it's not enough to give you a weekly income.
What are some of the experiences that you've had in trying to find work? You know, trying to look around for something.
Well, let's see. When I first got out of school, I worked. There was no jobs that I could go to with a decent pay, anyways. So I went on this youth corps, and I was on my own, and they were only paying $35 a week. And for the work we were doing the same work as the other people were doing, and they were getting more than we were because of our age.
What kind of work were you doing?
I was working in the hospital as a tray girl, and there was older people there, and they were getting paid more than we were because of our age. So I left there, and I went to one of these training programs, which wasn't doing anything really, and so I left there because after they give you the training, then they have the problem they can't find a job for you. After they've given you all this training, then they can't find a job for you. So I left there after finished training, and I still didn't have a job, and I still don't have a job, and I can't get one.
Do you think there are jobs around?
No. Well, some places there are jobs around, but they're just not hiring black people.
Jimmy Magnet is Minister of Defense of the Black Brothers Action Committee, a group that came together to protect the community from outside harassment, to alert and organize black residents, and to bring economic conditions to the attention of the lethargic city officials. Tom Shepard talked with him.
Where it's at, you know, I mean, this is what they're scared of. Us realizing what they're doing to us. The days of exploitation are over, you know.
I understand that one of the methods of exploitation that is being used in New Bedford, along with other communities throughout the country, is your routine about training you for a job that you're never going to have.
Dig it. This always go down. When last year I was associated with the Concentrated Employment Program. They trained niggas for 12 to 16 weeks. After they completed the course, there was no job out there, period. Nothing.